Hey gang, Tony here, and that warm tingling sensation you feel deep, deep within your Sphagnoctagus is the horror block. That's right, the horror block has arrived. It was gifted to me. I can't afford these things anymore, but it was gifted to me and I thought it only right to share that with you. Now, today's unboxing, since this is the debut of the horror block, I decided I should also do a little bit of a parenthetical, so it's horror block unboxing. Parenthetically, discussion of comparison of Box of Dread. So the horror block versus Box of Dread in a way, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to start opening this, and we'll talk a little about the horror block and the Box of Dread and how they compare before I even open the box. So first of all, price varies. The Box of Dread is $20 shipped, so it's $20 flat, or $19 if you subscribe for 3 months. And the horror block is $20 plus shipping. And it seems to depend on where you live, of course, because they do ship into other countries. So for me, the horror block would have cost, I believe, about $30. Someone recently messaged me and said they spent $50 on the horror block. So it will vary depending on where you are. I believe they're located in Canada. Yeah, they are. They're from Canada, so I guess shipping might even be less if you live in Canada. So that's the pricing difference. Horror block costs more, by probably about $10 or more, and the Box of Dread is a little bit less. Now, the other thing, something I already mentioned, Box of Dread is US based, and the horror block is Canada based, and they will ship internationally, whereas the Box of Dread does not ship internationally. So those are kind of the two biggest differences up front. I'm going to unbox and we'll start talking about the differences inside as well. This is kind of cool. The tape even on this has the blood splatters. And I guess aesthetically we could talk about the box. Horror block obviously has a branded box that they send it in with the bloody handprint and the bloody tape and everything else, and that's cool, you know? I mean, it's nice to get a branded box. Box of Dread does not, which never bothered me, but it's worth mentioning. And we're in. Let's see what we got. Okay, so I'm gonna work my way through maybe this. Well, I'm just gonna go through. All right, first thing, we got a Walking Dead pop vinyl. Walking Dead pop vinyl. This is the Governor with only one eye. So we got a number 70 Governor. Right on. I see that it says edition 3, so I know that there are a bunch of these. I'm not the biggest collector of the pop vinyls, but I do have quite a few now from these unboxings. Here's one right here, Slimer. That's one I did buy myself. So there's other ones there. Alright, so we have pop vinyl Governor. And we have another Funko horror mini, classic mini, whatchamacallums. I'm gonna rampage my way through that because frankly, they don't deserve to stay in the box. This is one thing that I will open every time. Every time I'm gonna open these things. Alright. What do I have? Get out! Awesome. Got Freddy. I have a few of these too, also from unboxings, from I should say the subscription boxes. And again, it's not something I necessarily will go out and buy myself, but I mean, come on, it's Freddy. If I was gonna get one, I'm glad it was him. I do have a couple of the other ones that I already wanted, so very cool. Freddy. Next up, we have, what is this? Horror block. Oh, I think this tells you what's inside. It's like a card. I don't want to look at that quite yet, but I believe it's just a detailing list of what is in the box. And next is the shirt. Now, we know that a shirt comes every time in the horror block. So every time you get a horror block, you're going to get a t-shirt. Right on. 1-2 Freddy's coming for you. That is a pretty cool shirt. I don't have any Freddy shirts, I don't think, so I will gladly add that to my collection of shirts. and I will happily wear it as well. Very nice. Alright. Next up, we have Blood Red soap. So it's soap that when it gets wet, it bleeds, I guess, as you can see in the picture. That's pretty neat. Alright, that's kind of like, you know, an interesting little add-in. Cool beans. I am going to talk about pricing in a second and how everything, you know, comes out. And we have some stickers, it looks like. Jelleskins, protection with style, not bulk. Portable art prints for your digital life. So I guess these are meant to go on maybe phones. It kind of looks like on the back they show phones. I'm not really sure if that's the case or not. Or I guess, yeah, I guess on electronics it shows laptops and Xboxes and tablets and things. So you could stick these around. And I imagine that they're easy to come off, so you could replace them and stuff. That's neat. Alright. And finally, we have a copy of Rue Morgue, the newest edition of Rue Morgue. And we knew that this would be in there too. The Horror Block signed a deal with Rue Morgue so that every box will come with a Rue Morgue magazine, that month's edition. So that's cool too. I'm always happy to get a magazine about horror. Alright, so let's take a look at this, and we'll talk a little about the comparison between Box of Dread and Horror Block. So right off the bat, I'm going to say that this is well worth the $30 that I would have spent. Again, price may vary depending on shipping. It starts at $20 and then you add the shipping on. We got the Governor and the Mini Freddy, the what are they called? Mystery Minis. Now, these guys, I have to admit, I'm getting a little tired of getting this type of stuff in the subscription boxes. I feel like Funko must have some kind of deal with subscription boxes across the board, because it doesn't matter if you get Loot Crate, Nerd Block, the Box of Dread, the Horror Block, they all have these things in them. So, I mean, if you subscribe to one of these horror or one of these subscription boxes, chances are pretty good eventually you're going to get one of these, the Mystery Minis or the Vinyl Pops, depending on which subscription box you get. You know, it might be horror, might be geek, might be nerd, whatever. But they do almost always seem to have this type of stuff in there. So I'm not surprised it's in there, but I'm also a little kind of disappointed. I was hoping for slightly different stuff on that end. Now, alright, let's talk money. They do their shirts from, I forget what it's called, Shirt Punch or Shirt Pop, or maybe it's on here. No, maybe not. Punch Shirt, Shirt Punch, something like that. They're $10, the t-shirts. If you were to buy it off the website, they're $10. So $10 there. And then the Rue Morgue magazine is, says, it has a, $9.95. Alright, so that's another $10 there. And then you got to imagine that there's some shipping on top of that. So you could say that the shirt and the magazine are what you paid and everything else is free. You could say that, since it's 10, 20, it's $20 plus shipping. That's what you pay for the box, right? $20 plus shipping. So that's kind of cool if you look at it that way. It's kind of like getting a shirt and a magazine and a bunch of free stuff with it every month. So we have that. And then we have the two kind of like big items would be the Pop and the Mini. These Pops go for, I believe, if I remember correctly, you could probably get them between $9 and $12 plus a little bit of shipping. And then the little Minis are usually, I think, about $9, $10 plus shipping. So again, there's another, you know, let's say $15 to $20 possibly. And then we have our Blood Red soap, which, I don't know, probably $1 or something like that. And we got those stickers, could be maybe $3, $4. I don't know what these kinds of things go for necessarily. And then we have the card telling us what we got inside. And it just kind of details all the different stuff, which is nice. It's a nice little add-in just for the hell of it. Now, they did say on the box here, I noticed that since it's coming from Canada, they have to say how much everything's worth and what's in there. On there, it says that there's an $8, oh, that's in Canadian though, I think. So $8 t-shirt value, $2.43 pop vinyl, $2.39 horror mystery vinyl. Oh, you know what they did? They made it so it added up to $20. So those aren't the actual prices of those things, it's just what they put there to add up to what you paid for the box. So that makes sense. Although you got to be careful when you get this because it says right on top what's in there. So if you want to be surprised when you're opening it, be careful and don't look at that. All right, so as compared to the Box of Dread, there's more stuff in this box, but you're paying more for it at the same time. So it's kind of a toss-up, I think, as far as what comes in the boxes and what you're paying for them, right? You could pay $20 or you could and get a little less stuff, or you could pay $30 and upwards of that and get some more stuff. You are getting a magazine and t-shirt definitely each time, so keep that in mind. And I think the only other thing really worth saying in the comparison world is with the Box of Dread, I feel like there is always a chance that you might get some real horror promo stuff, right, from horror movies. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen with the horror block. I'm pretty sure they're going to stick to basic merchandise that you could buy out on the internet. But the problem with that for Box of Dread is that they don't do it every time. So you're not guaranteed to get a bit of horror prop stuff or horror promo stuff. But every once in a while you get lucky and you do get something really cool. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. If you want that opportunity, that chance of getting some horror merchandise, the Box of Dread is the way to go. All right, so that's going to do it. I don't want to drag this on too much longer. Pretty good bulk of stuff here. Definitely worth the money if you're going for a horror box. It's a good way to go. And they're bound to have different kinds of stuff. I know I said some negative things about getting the pop vinyls, but some people love these things and collect them. So if you're a collector of this stuff, obviously it's the way to go. All right, have a good one. Enjoy your horror blocks, your Box of Dreads, and every other subscription box that you subscribe to. Enjoy your 4th of July as well. I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to install my air conditioner. I'm sweating. See you guys soon. Bye.